Hi, good afternoon. Welcome everyone to the White House. My name is Roberto Rodriguez. I am the Special Assistant to President Obama for Education here at the Domestic Policy Council, and it's my honor to welcome you here today and to thank you for joining us today for Democracy's Future. Education Reclaims Our Civic Mission. I want to welcome each of you here in person as well as those of you who are joining us online, tuning in on whitehouse.gov.
Thank you. And thank all of you for coming. It's an honor to be here today, to be with so many friends and colleagues. I'm here to give you some good news. The founding of a national coalition of community colleges committed to this work. Because that new project was inspired by our students and grew out of their work, I thought I might start first with the students. DeAnza College is a public two-year community college, one of 112 community colleges in California. We are a large, diverse, urban institution, 24,500 students, serving one of the most dynamic and contradictory regions in the United States. If Silicon Valley fancies itself the center of post-industrial innovation, it is also a place of startling inequality, underemployment, underfunded schools, and decimated public services. DeAnza's students come from that region, all across it, and they share many of the characteristics of community college students all across the nation. They are overwhelmingly first generation. They are largely working class and immigrant. They most often are working full-time, and many are balancing their obligations as students with their obligations as parents. Many of them come to us right out of high school, but many more come to us as refugees from an economy that no longer employs them. Like many community college students across the country, we have an astonishing ethnic, racial, linguistic, and cultural diversity. And let me be very concrete to give you some sense of the students with whom we work. At DeAnza, there are 3,200 Latino, mostly Mexican-American students. There are 3,000 Chinese Americans. There are 1,500 Filipino Americans. There are 1,200 Indo-Americans. There are 1,200 African Americans. The census tells us there are 5,600 white students, of whom 534 are Iranian. They come to us from across the region and around the world. 515 of them are veterans from America's current wars. 85% of our students test into pre-collegiate work, and yet every year thousands transfer to four-year institutions. Our students are imaginative, they are smart, they have enormous talent. 75% of them speak at least two languages. So what do they want from this college? And what does today's topic have to do with their dreams and their hopes? They want good and meaningful work. Of course, they want the skills and the knowledges required for employment. But they also want a lot more. They want meaningful lives. They want to learn how to navigate the public and private bureaucracies that circumscribe so much of those lives. They want to understand how power works. Who has it? What are its sources? How do you confront it or affect it or build it? They want the skills required to protect or defend the interests of their communities and work across the boundaries that separate those communities. They want to learn how to build a healthy and more equitable region across the deep differences of race and class and gender and privilege that divides their world and ours. They want and they need and they organize for, in short, an education in democratic practice, not just the abstractions of democratic institutions or what we might call civics, but the rich and complex activity that brings them alive. They want to be principled, informed, literate, and generous citizens, regardless of their legal status right now. America's community colleges enroll about half of the undergraduates in the country. We do not need to be told to prepare students for the new economy. We know that, and they demand it. The real question for us in America's community colleges is, can we prepare our students for the new politics? There is no one way to do this, to teach democracy across the curriculum, but this connection has already begun with a project we call the Democracy Commitment. It is a national coalition of America's community colleges committed to the work of democracy, for preparing our students for their lives as citizens in their communities, their states, and the cities, and the country itself. Preparing students to engage. And many of the colleges with whom you are familiar are part of the original signatory group: Miami-Dade, Maricopa, Georgia Perimeter, Mount Wachusett, and Delta, and Lane, and Macomb, and Los Rios, and Lone Star, dozens and dozens more across the country. We're in a partnership with the American Association of State Colleges and Universities American Democracy Project and its 242 universities in what is an uncommon alliance between state colleges and universities and our colleges. If half of the graduates of those institutions come from the community colleges, we best get to the work together, and I am delighted by the partnership and deeply indebted to George Mahaffey and Muriel Howard for what ASCU has done for us. The project has been supported and endorsed by the Association of American Community Colleges, by the League for Innovation in the Community Colleges, and by AAC&U. In short, it is a coalition 1 year old, celebrating with the American Democracy Project's 10th anniversary, a new beginning in what has always been the community college's fundamental mission, which is not only or singularly to prepare men and women for their work, but to prepare them to take their places as leaders in their communities and in their states and across the country. We have always understood community colleges to have a fundamental social democratic and equitable purpose. What we need to do to help them, we say in the Democracy Commitment, is to build new curricula, build institutional space, make it not just a public declaration, but practical on-the-ground projects that allow them to do their work. So, what it has meant is new courses in the history of democracy at Allegany College of Maryland, brand new projects in certificate programs in community development and social change leadership at places like Minneapolis Technical and Community College, at DeAnza or East LA. It means new institutes like the Institute for Humanity and Democracy at Mount Wachusett. Actually, it's a misnomer to say that would be new, since it's 17 years old. But from them we learned what difference it made to have an actual institutional home for this work. Whether it's in courses or programs or work in the community, what we have learned from our students and what we carry into this new coalition is the central importance of providing for the students the space for them to do their own work, to do their own organizing, for them to do democracy. And I'm enormously proud to say that as I am speaking at this moment, the students at DeAnza are creating Occupy for Education, a tent city in the central quadrangle of our school. There's a shout out to you guys at home. Their timing actually was not to celebrate me not being there, but that today was when the governor is releasing the state budget. They have dedicated themselves to a night a week for the next 9 weeks in preparation for a march in Sacramento with students across the state. They have our support because we, in fact, need them. And together we have to fight back against the cutbacks that are destroying their opportunities for education and development and advancement, not, again, just in the economy, but in their civic and community lives. They need the space to organize, they need the space to learn, they need the space to teach. What we are doing in America's community colleges with Eduardo Padron and other colleagues is we are reaching across to colleges who in their hearts have always had this mission and pulling it up into the center. So I'm delighted for today to be the day to publicly announce the commitment of this coalition of national community colleges to this common work. Thank you.